join me tonight as I go and see the new Universal Pictures release of The Fall Guy. Now, The Fall Guy was a show that I really enjoyed as a kid, and when I say that, I was about 3 when it ended. I remember the theme tune, and I used to have the little brown truck, the GMC truck, with the logo on from the show, and that's all I can remember about The Fall Guy. If I'm completely honest, I just remember sitting there watching it, but I cannot tell you a single thing about it at all. But this is a new film directed by David Leitch, or Lech, I can never remember how to pronounce his name, who's had a mixed bag. I wasn't a fan of his Hobbs and Shaw film. It was fine, but it wasn't as good as I thought it could be. And Ryan Gosling and Emily Blunt, who obviously have made many really enjoyable films. And, this has been heavily promoted. I've been seeing trailers for this film for probably 6 months, to the point where I'm glad I'm able to see it tonight, because it means that when I sit through the trailers, there won't be a trailer for The Fall Guy. But, it looks good. David's last film was Bullet Train, which I did really have a lot of fun with. I thought it was a really enjoyable, silly action film, and this definitely looks in the same kind of vein as that. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I'm hoping for good things, and I hope they play The Unknown Stuntman, because it's a cracking theme tune. And I'm also trying to work out when I'm going to see Lee Majors. He's going to be in this film. I know he's going to make an appearance in this film. But what do I think of The Fall Guy? Well, I don't know yet, because I'm on my way to see it, but I'll tell you just after this. Right, so I'm home now from having watched The Fall Guy. It was too dark for me to film after I left the cinema. But what did I think? Well, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it a lot. I would say that I don't think it's as funny as I expected it to be. It didn't kind of get the audience reactions that I thought a more comedy-based film would have got. Unfortunately, I'm going to kind of compare it to Bullet Train, because it's the same director, and that film I felt was funnier and certainly had the audience reacting more to it. People were enjoying the film, but what I mean is that the jokes didn't really land. I laughed more than most people did, which is not a good look when you're sat by yourself in the cinema. But, I mean, Ryan Gosling and Emily Blunt look like they're having a great time. Everyone looks like they're having a great time, to be fair. My only kind of real complaint, other than the fact that it's not quite as funny as I think they were setting it out to be, is it is a little bit too long, which just seems to be something that I say so often. And it's not, I mean, I will sit and watch a long film. I don't mind, within reason. I mean, I still haven't got round to watching the last Scorsese film, because it is about 2 days long. But no, I mean, I think something that I just seem to be seeing more in film recently is these 2 hour plus films. I think this was 2 hours 10 or something. It wasn't like a really long film, but it felt like it could have ended a good 20 minutes before. And I think it could have probably been better had it not been quite as long as it was. It was almost there. And it sounds like it'll be really negative, but I did generally enjoy it, and I'm looking forward to watching it again. And, I kind of get the idea that Universal are going to be trying to push this as the start of a franchise. And if they do, sign me up for the next one, because I'd like to see where it goes. I thought the story in the film was interesting. Without spoilers, you can probably get an idea from the trailers anyway, but, it is about, a film within a film, as it were, with Ryan Gosling's Colt playing, you know, the main stuntman for the lead actor in that production. It wasn't the story wasn't exactly what I thought it was going to be, but again, I was happy with that, and I had a lot of fun. You know, I did generally enjoy the film. I just wish that more of the jokes landed, and also Stephanie Hugh was in it, who last saw in Everything Everywhere All at Once. And I really like her, and I saw her name kind of pop up at the front of the film, and I was like, great, you know, I haven't seen her for a while, and she's barely in the film, and that was disappointing. That was just, yeah, just because the name popped up at the front, I thought she might have had a bigger role than she did, but she didn't. It's fine. You know, the action sequences are great. Most of the effects I thought were really good. There was one sequence with a skip van, skip truck, skip lorry, I don't know. That's one of the big action sequences which I thought did look a little bit ropey, and that was the only thing, you know, that, and I mentioned that because that really did kind of stand out to me about looking not as good as a lot of the stuff in the film did. But overall, I thought, you know, the stunt work was great. The story was interesting. It kept me trying to figure out where the film was going to kind of go next. And yeah, it's supposed to be a summer popcorn flick, and it ticks the boxes for that. You know, it's not going to be winning any Academy Awards, not any of the main ones anyway. But it knows what it wants to do, and it does a good job. I enjoyed it more than Hobbs and Shaw, and I don't think quite as much as Bullet Train. I remember coming out of that feeling a lot more buzzed about what I just witnessed than I had with The Fall Guy. But The Fall Guy is probably a more accessible film because it's not over the top violence. There is violence in the film, but it's not like Bullet Train was. So I enjoyed it. What am I going to give it as a score? I almost feel like saying 7.5, which is awful. I hate giving half scores, but I think I probably gave Hobbs and Shaw like a 6 or a 7, and I'm pretty sure I gave Bullet Train an 8, so it is right slap bang in the middle of that. You know, I had fun. I hope it does really well. I mean, it's been hyped to the max. There's lots of little in-jokes to other films. There's also nods to other things like The Fall Guy. So think about 70s, 80s TV. There's just like little bits and pieces in the film which you may pick up on. I mean, I picked up on 2 or 3. There could have been more, but they're the ones that I did. And also there is a during the credits, about halfway through the credits, there is a mid-credit scene. So just be wary of that as well. Some people just kind of just got up and left as soon as it was, possibly because of the time. You know, by the time the film finished, where I was watching it, it was probably about 10:30, and people obviously wanted to rush back. So should you go and see this? Yes. You know, I think if you are after, you know, a summer popcorn flick, this is a great one to go and see. You know, accessible. It's a 12A here in the UK. I'm assuming that'll be PG-13 in the US. Its violence is quite tame, I would say. I'd happily let my daughter watch this film, who's 11 or about to be 11. So you know, it's I don't want to say it's a family film because that might give the wrong thing, but you know, in terms of like other films like this, you know, it's not as aggressive or as violent as a Hobbs and Shaw. It's not as aggressive and violent as a Bullet Train. So it's quite accessible. You know, I'm really glad that it ended up being as good as it was. I wish I hadn't seen so many trailers for it. That said, there were certainly things that I saw in the trailers that I didn't see in the final cut, which is always, a good thing in my opinion. But yeah, go and see The Fall Guy. I enjoyed myself. I had a good time, and I will definitely be watching it again. So look, thank you for watching this. What did you think of The Fall Guy? Let me know in the comments below. And I'll probably see you for a review next week when Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes comes out. So until then, Flynn lives.